Condoms have a 4 in 5 chance of preventing unwanted pregnancies. That was what Anna White's gynecologist had told her the last time she'd had a pap smear done. She should have heeded the woman's warning to get on birth control then, but Anna didn't have a history of making the best choices this past year. When she'd moved to New York to pursue a better life, she told herself she was going to take more chances. She wasn't going to be the sheltered little farm girl she had been raised as. She'd been determined to experience everything, the sights, the smell, the lifestyle, and she had. It had been a dream come true for a while. Life in the Big Apple had wooed her. It had made her stronger and more independent, and being away from her family had allowed her to be carefree like never before. Before she knew it, Anna had been working as a receptionist at Faskin Law Firm, with the promise of being bumped up to paralegal, her chosen career field, whenever a spot opened up. It had seemed like a dream come true at the time. Anna stroked the slight swell of her belly beneath the steering wheel of her car. She still couldn't believe she was 3 months pregnant. More than that, she was leaving the life she'd tried so hard to build. What was once her dream had turned into a nightmare, and now she was heading back home, back to Texas, until she was able to get on her feet again. Making the nearly 2,000-mile drive back home had given Anna plenty of time to think. Of course, she'd gone over everything that had happened, the choices and the mistakes she'd made that led her here, trying not to be bitter about it. How could she not be bitter, though, when the man she'd trusted her heart with had destroyed her life? Not to mention this. She splayed her fingers out across her stomach, trying to feel the life inside. There was no movement. It was still too early for that. Despite everything that had happened, this was one thing she didn't regret. She wasn't alone in the world anymore. She'd be even less alone when she got home where her mother and sister were waiting for her. Anna rolled down the windows as she pulled off the highway and onto the dirt road that led to her parents' ranch. The crisp country air rushed in to greet her, cooled by the darkness surrounding her. She had hoped to make it before nightfall, but damn did you ever have to pee when you were pregnant. It felt like she was stopping every 20 miles. The fact that she was drinking sodas like they were going out of style didn't help. She needed the caffeine to make the 12-hour drive. After spending 3 days on the road, she was going to do whatever it took to arrive tonight. Living in the city for 5 years changed your perspective on things. When you were used to being surrounded by people all the time, being alienated had an eerie feeling to it. Maybe having her windows rolled down wasn't the best idea. But the lights of her parents' house came into view, and relief washed over her. The road leading up to the house had never seemed so long before. She pulled around in the circular driveway, casting a glance at the barn. The light was on inside, which was unusual for so late at night. If her father was still alive, she wouldn't have had a second thought about it. He often liked to go out into the barn and work on his various projects. But now that it was just her mother and sister, she couldn't see why either one of them would be out there so late. Anna took a deep breath and killed the engine. It felt like her heart was sinking into her stomach, joining the baby. Even though she wasn't unhappy to be home, having finally completed the trek made her realize that her life in New York was now in the past. She was 27 and starting all over again. The thought was mortifying. And though it had plenty of time to sink in on the drive, it had never felt as real as it did right now. Anna stared at the open barn door, waiting for someone to come out and greet her, but it was the house that her mother came out of, followed by her sister. Time to put on her best happy face. Time to pretend she was glad to be here. She was holding together fine, when on the inside, she was falling apart. Anna. Her mom approached the car with open arms, forcing Anna to pull herself out of the driver's seat. In truth, it felt great to embrace the woman she hadn't seen for a good 2 years. Not since her father's funeral.